Bladed Articles.
Hello and welcome back to Bladed Articles. Today we are going to be taking a look at a Spyderco. And to be more precise, this is a Spyderco Yojimbo 2. Fun fact for you, Yojimbo in Japanese means bodyguard. And this will make sense after I've explained a few facts on this particular knife. So just a brief overview of the box. This was purchased from Heine Haynes at some point in its life, hence the Lorax sticker. Pretty standard Spyderco boxing, and with the push out insert tray. On the back of the tray you do have some warranty information there. Feel free to pause and have a little looky if you wanted to. And then you also get your pamphlet inside as well, and that's just a little bit more information on the Yojimbo 2. And also more warranty information and obviously Spyderco's address all there. However, we have come to see this absolute looker of a knife. So I will just move these out of the way. And here we have it. This is the Spyderco Yojimbo 2 in all of its glory. So this is on Heine Haynes for £190.95. However, I didn't pay that cost. I paid roughly about half of it. So I was on near the end of £100. However, it was just a bit above £100 that I paid for this. Like new, in box, never been used, never been carried. It was an absolute minter when I got it. So on to the second point, which is the colour and scales. So obviously that is black, and this is G10 textured scales on front and rear. I like G10, it's not too bad, it is fairly hard wearing, however it's just really quite light. However, the pure design of this knife requires it to be light, and I feel that is what Michael Janich, there he is, was had in mind when he designed this knife. Nice and light and tactical. So Michael Janich has quite a long resume of tactical knife martial arts, designing knives, etc, etc. I will link a few videos below in the description, one to Michael Janich himself if you wanted to know a bit more about him, and also secondly the compression lock, which is pretty darn cool. I love mechanisms, I love seeing how different knives work, and yeah, if you wanted a more in-depth review of the actual compression lock system that Spyderco and only Spyderco use on their knives, because it is their property, they have a patent and everything, so only they can use the compression lock system on the knives. So if that's up your street, again I will link that in the description for you to have a look-see. So on to the third point, which is the carry style, and that is very nicely done by Michael Janich for every single carry way. So tip up, tip down, left and right handed. Also, I do have to add, there is nowhere for a lanyard hole to go in, unfortunately. However, on the pocket clip, if you could get a deep carry pocket clip where it comes up to probably about here, you could probably fit a lanyard in. I know I have done that on previous knives and it does work some sort alright, it's not too much of a problem. However, this goes in my back pocket at work and around the house, so it's not too much of an issue because I'm not taking this out in public. I'm not trying to conceal it, because obviously I can't, because it is locking. So yeah, can't carry that in the UK unfortunately. And the pocket clip itself isn't too deep, if I am honest. It's yeah, you've got about yay big showing out of your pocket, so you know, potato really on that pocket clip. However, it is nice and tight in your pocket and it does not fall out. I have bedded this one in just a little bit now. It was super tight to get on my jeans and or my work stuff. However, it's not too bad now and fits pretty darn nice on there. On to the blade itself now. and that is coming in at CPM S30V. There we go, there's a good shot of it. So I have had the pleasure of using CPM S30V before, and it has been absolute pleasure to use. Now the thing about this blade, however, it's nice and thick on the spine. However, it goes down to incredibly slicey thin on the edge there. Like, that is just stupidly and lovely slicey the entire way across. Now that was designed specifically for being slicey action by Michael Janich, because he was saying in one of his videos that the Warncliffe style of blades is actually one of his favourites, and did the most damage on his pork belly when he was doing it for testing purposes, which I also found quite interesting as well. I didn't think it would be that style, however apparently it is. On to the blade centering and lock system. Actually, before we go on there, I would just let you know what this blade has been through in my week of using it. So we've had hectons of cardboard and tape, we've had food, paracord, carpets, some rope this week actually, and a little bit of wood whittling. Not too much on that front, but it's had pretty much a bit of everything this week, which is always good for my knives and my reviews. So we can obviously test the steel a little bit. I know it's not going to be stupid tests that are going to completely blunt these knives, however I can't unfortunately do that. I'm just testing it in an everyday scenario, and that is what I think a fair few of us will be doing, using it in everyday scenarios. And all of us are going to be different in our everyday scenarios, so again, it's going to be what suits you best. So a bit of trial and error is always a good thing. However, if it's a big expensive blade, yeah, as long as it's a fairly good steel, just read up on it a little bit, you should be absolutely fine for everyday carry on the steel side of things. I like to go D2 up, that is perfect for me, D2 and upwards on the steel side of things. I've never had really a blade chip up until this one. We will get to that in a second, but yeah, it just seems absolutely fine for my daily life, as far as my job and home life goes, if I'm honest. So going back to the, well, you can call it a chip or a snap, either way. First time I got it, sliced open a nice piece of plastic packaging, and I had a little rubber mat underneath like so, and I think I just pinged to the end, to the side when I came round, and just a minuscule amount of the tip popped off, as in snapped off. It's really not noticeable at all. However, it is just flat, as you can see on the end now. It was sharp, it was pointy, but that had snapped off and yeah, gone to the other side of the room. But it miffed me off for all about 5 minutes until I realised you can't really notice that at all. And obviously I'm using my knives anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem anyway. Onto the locking mechanism and centering. So the centering for me is just going off to the right a little bit, so I do need to adjust that. However, there is a slight special way to adjusting. I think it was Smoky Mountain Knife Works actually, who had a great tip on adjusting the Spyderco compression lock, and that was, I do believe, adjust the pivot to its center and then back off the this, what's it called, the lock, the stop pin, there we go, back off the stop pin screws just a little bit, and apparently it's all sweet, all good, because it's the way the compression lock system is designed. I can't quite show you, but I will link a video in the description below about the compression lock system, because it is a really cool design, and most of it relies on wedging in between that stop that stop pin there and the actual blade itself. So this bit pops in like a liner lock would, however it wedges in between the blade and this stop pin. Again, have a look at the video if you're interested in it, in the link below. Obviously I'm doing a really crap description of it, so just go check it out. It's pretty awesome. So on to the next point, which is the length. I will just grab my tape measure and we can have a little looky. So as it stands, the length is coming in on the cutting edge at exactly 7.5 centimeters, and then the overall is coming in at, I call that again an exact number, which is 19.5 centimeters, which is pretty cool. And we will just have a look at the closed formation length. And we are going for 11.1. Oh no, sorry, 11.6 that is. So I'd go for, yeah. No, wait, what's going on here? Fucking measuring tape. I need to get a new one, I swear. Right, we've got it now. I'm doing all this specific measuring just for you guys. So now we are looking at 11.4 centimeters. I'm calling that 11.4 on the closed formation. And now onto the screw size. So we will start backwards. We will go for T6, which is going to be for the pocket clip screws. So that's 1 snug fit, 2 snug fit, 3 snug fit, and there we go, that is a T6. And we will go then on to the scale screws, which should be a T8. Yep, nice and snug, nice and snug, and again nice and snug. On the back side, 1, 2 and 3, and where are we? T8, there we go. Now on to the pivot, and I'm going to class this, I have used this in here, this is a little bit wobbly, however I haven't got a T11 to try out, but I don't think a T11 will just fit in there. I think this has just been used a lot, my T10, if I'm honest, and just a little bit loosey goosey. But there we go, that is a T10. So now on to the shaving and the hair popping. Let's see if we can hair pop. I'm pretty sure this is going to, because it's S30V. It's usually pretty good after a week. We will try and see if we can pop some hairs. Oh, you can hear them popping. There we go. As you can see, it is still shaving sharp after 1 week's worth of fairly hard use in my everyday life anyway. So yeah, take what you want from that. And on to the size comparison. We are going to go for its sort of baby cousin, if you were. So this is the bird turn. So this is, oh, that's catching the light quite a bit. The Spyderco's sort of budget company, I guess you could call it. And we have got a Fox Suru. Just lining those up on the scales there, just so you can see what dwarfs what in terms of cutting edge, as well as scales as well. So again, the scale to blade ratio actually is, did I just gob on that? Yes I did, yes I did. Nice. So the scale to blade ratio is actually designed apparently from Michael's point of view, so that if you don't have enough time to draw the blade out, you still have something to use as a defense, apparently. That's what I got from the video as well. So just another note on that. We will move out the Fox, and everybody knows a Luna, so that is it up against a Luna. So again, bigger in terms of scales and blade as well. And just one more, the Banter. There we go. So again, being dwarfed, so yeah, it is a rather large blade. However, the actual cutting edge itself isn't too far off of the Banter, if I'm honest. So yeah, it's not too bad, not too bad. It's a nice length. But overall, I am absolutely chuffed with the Yojimbo, and I really like this compression lock, because once you flick it open, it has just got amazing action, like super duper deployment. However, I think this is probably one of the safest methods I've seen of closing a knife, because none of your digits are in the way and you have to just do it on the back there. I just think it's awesome. Yeah, it's better than the old liner lock, because, or frame lock, liner lock, same thing, because you kind of have to push it in, and then there is also the chance of it coming down on your fingers like so, whereas there is zilcho happening on there. So overall, I love it. I would happily pay again what I paid for this one. However, coming up to the £200 mark, now that I have used it, I would probably pay that. If I'm being honest, I would probably pay that amount if I wanted it that much. However, for the G10 scales, I would like something a little bit more, although I do understand that this is meant to be tactical. So I get it, is what I'm trying to say, is I get why it is how it is, because it's trying to be tactical. But for the price, I feel possibly just a nicer scale on it, just a variation would be a nice touch for around the same price point. And I think, yeah, I think it'll be sweet as. But anyway, thank you very much for stopping by, and I will catch you on the next one. Stay safe, stay happy, stay shaving sharp.